Page 16, a classy rag. There's a ragtime piece. Cool. At the top of the page, they talk about the diminished seventh chord. It has other names, a full diminished chord, whatever it is. It consists of 4 notes. And if you understand the intervals, you can figure it out. You can figure any of them out. They haven't printed out there in whole notes. They look really ugly because you get double flats and things. You get wonderful things going on. If you understand what a minor third is, an interval of, well, you know what an interval of a third is. It's here. Every other note, they're all thirds. And you understand the difference between a major third and a minor third. Well, keep in mind a triad, a C. You have a major third and a minor third. That's what the C chord is built. Any of these major chords is built on that. A major third and a minor third on top. The minor chord is a minor third and a major third. So it's here. So that is a third. It's 1, 2, 3 half steps. That's a minor third. The full diminished seventh chord is built on minor thirds. So I can start on any note, white or black. So C, that's fine. If I go up a minor third, it's here. 1, 2, 3. Go up another minor third. Half step, half step, half step. Another minor third. Half step, half step. And then my other minor third takes me back to C again. So it's 4 notes. They're all that way. They're all built on third. And it works out really nicely because on piano, as far as the pattern goes, there's only 3 of them. Because this actually applies to 4 different keys, because each note applies to a different key. All you're doing is using the inversions. So C diminished, or I can E flat diminished, or I could G flat diminished, or an A diminished. They're the same notes on the piano, but it's 4 different keys. Well, there's 12 different keys total, so there's only 3 of these things to learn. So you got where the 2 black keys are here. And you got one where the 2 black keys are here. See, there's a white key in the middle here. And the other one is just 1 black key is here. I got videos on all these diminished seventh, and diminished seventh are really good when you're first learning scales because it makes the fingers spread out. All of the fingers are spread out, and that's what we need to get used to. Our fingers can't always be together. They need to spread out a little bit, and this is it. They're all equally apart. They're minor third apart. So you need to be doing the arpeggio probably on whatever key you're working on. And the diminished seventh arpeggio usually goes with the minor key. I think here this is an F major, it doesn't matter. Typically when you're doing your scales, you do a major scale and a minor scale. Let's say for instance you're doing C major scale, you're also doing A minor scale because it has the same key signature. Well then do the A minor diminished seventh, so it's here. I explained that in the video. Watch the videos on that. Here, you get it that way. So you like doing these together because you'll also be doing the arpeggios. There's quite a bit to practice once you get the scales and the arpeggios on the major and the minor. You have a few things to cover, but if you can get these, it will make playing this music so much easier because you're accustomed. A lot of these things are nothing but broken chords. So it makes sight reading easier because you recognize that as oh, I recognize this, I'm just playing this chord. So this ugly looking music you see, well, look at the whole notes thing. Look at these. You have the first one is a C, an E flat, a G flat, and a B double flat, which is an A on piano. Technically it's not really an A, but on piano it is. And that's all it is. All of these they're giving you, they're just going up by half steps. But in doing that, all you're doing is covering these 3 patterns I showed you. All right. Well, the first 2 measures of this piece, that's full diminished seventh chords. And once you recognize what they are, they're suddenly not so ugly. So you have the G sharp here. That's it. Remember I said one of them just has 1 black key? That's it. And then the second measure, it's here. And that's it. And that last note, second measure, that is an E double flat. It's a D. Just come down twice, 2 flats. That's fine. And so suddenly this ugly looking thing isn't so bad. And you get some more over on page 17. That's all they are. They give some blurbs about it, and you can read all about it. And if you have any questions, be free to ask. But that's how I approach diminished seventh chords. Now this rag, this is kind of fun. A little bit of pedal at the beginning is about it, or a little bit on page 17. Don't pedal anything but these diminished seventh chords. And you don't even have to pedal those. I mean, it's fine without them. You don't need pedal there at all. And also the fingering, I use fourth finger usually here. And then you can do that, that's fine, but technically, or typically, I use fourth finger on diminished seventh chords, usually, almost always. So I'll probably be using fourth finger on most of these. They're showing different styles of fingering. In the arpeggio videos, when I cover them, I use fourth finger, and I encourage you to use fourth finger. We want to spread the fingers out. As far as I'm concerned, you don't need pedal on this, you can leave it out. It needs to bounce along. Typically, you're bouncing these. You're going to separate these anyway. You know, don't finger pedal anything. Just separate these. You can connect that. Or if you feel the phrases, you can lift up between the phrases. Although on this, most of the time, they give you a rest. You have to lift up. So that's fine too. Starts out loud. I use fourth finger, by the way, in the third measure. Here, I don't want to go there. Go. Then you can use fifth. Here. So again. And let's separate them. That's an interpretation thing. By the way, the fingering there in the last measure, page 16, all those notes together is here. That's the chord, that's the fingering, so that's what I use. I use a 2, 3, 5 for that second chord here and then here. I don't like moving my hands around anymore, and I have to. There's nothing wrong with what the book is showing you, but the fingering style I use, I don't move my hands if I don't have to. And that's it. So then 17. Now make sure you play that bottom note. Second line, second measure. Left hand, the thumb is going to play the C and the D both. That's what that little square bracket. You don't have to. You can use 1 and 2 if you want, but this using the thumb like that comes in really handy. So I'd encourage you to do it. But I don't like putting my right hand there. I don't like using a thumb on the F sharp because that puts me up in here. I got big hands, so I usually just reach down your second finger. So there, it's a personal thing. You can finger it in the book if you want. If you get small hands, that's fine, but otherwise. Now, going from the second line to the third line on page 17. So they're suggesting here, this is the last measure, second line, you're here. 2, 4, and then going on to the first ending, they want here. You can do that because you can lift up and move. Not the best. I would prefer to use a little finger on that last note in the second line. Here, that way I'm in position to use fourth finger for the diminished seventh chord, which I can do anyway. I mean, that's why I'd finger it. So I'd use 2 here at the right hand. But again, that's how you can use fingering in the book if you'd rather. I prefer second finger on the B flat. It's up to you. But if it's the second time you played it and you're going on, you go to the second ending. So to finish the second line, second ending, you gotta go here. If I'm going to do that, use third finger so I can reach it here. So the last measure of the second line, it's here, here, 2, 3, and then to go to the second ending. So forth. You have to use a fingering that works for you. So you decide. I'm just making suggestions here. So get comfortable with it. Keep it really slow. Loud at first. Not super loud, just loud. Now, third measure, it's really the right hand that's loud. The left hand needs to come down. And then on page 17, it's the right hand we want to hear, and it's soft. The left hand has to be very soft. Then you get the third line, crescendo up to that note. Right there. And the staccato here, but not here. So again, it's soft. Then come back down, because you're going to repeat back to the top where it's soft again. The second ending, you're soft there. There's an accent there in the last note. Bring it up a little bit. Sort of medium soft. Then the third line, we're loud again. That makes the accented note very loud there. And then soft. And the accented note takes it about moderately soft. You see, the accent is in relation to whatever dynamic level you're at. And then back to moderately loud in the right hand. Have a crescendo there. They don't tell you how loud to get. You're going to go back up to loud. So where do you get loud? Well, it'll be on the third measure. You're loud there. So you're loud there. Then when you repeat, you're loud again, still loud. Soft. Moderately loud in the right hand. Staccato on the second ending. And you're going to go back down to soft, because now you're going to go DS, and you got to find the sign, which is at the top of the page 17, and you're soft there. Soft. The fine is the second ending there on the third line there. That's where you would end it. There is a note at the bottom of page 17 that you can add a coda here if you'd like. And that is, they're saying for the coda, just use the introduction. You see on page 16, that line, the bottom line? That's an introduction. It's got double bars at the end of it. They're saying just play that line again. So when you finish the second ending, just go ahead and do go back and play the line on page 16 again. I'll get it out eventually. If you want it, because that would end it loud, like you started. Otherwise, the second ending, you're going to end it soft, because you're soft there. You need to get to know it well enough that you can just get into the music and have fun with it. But be careful, don't speed it up. It's not fast. It says moderato. That's just a moderate speed, and that's the feel it, the overall feel it. Just a nice, moderate, casual feel. Don't get carried away. A couple minor little things I want to point out, because in music we look for the minor little things. They make a difference. First two lines on page 17. In the right hand, that's a half note. Hold it down all the way. Next line, that's a quarter note. You get a quarter rest. We want to hear the rest. And also at the end of the line, we want to hear a quarter rest there. So don't play those like half notes like you did the first line. They're different. So make sure you play them differently. As far as the articulation goes, it bounces along, but usually when I get notes that go up or down scale, I connect them. It's like at the end of the second line on page 17, you're here. Well, go to the second measure, or here, you're here. Then I connect these. Just because they're connected, it's a way of interpreting the music. You experiment. You don't have to connect them. I typically do, though. And the same thing at the bottom when whatever, I would connect those.